What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD interview. Every single week, we interview top entrepreneurs and just straight up top badasses that are out there dominating their space. These are people choosing to not live a life of mediocrity, but instead to go out there and create big lives for themselves and for their family. So you guys say I got a great friend of mine on the show, my brother from another mother, a dude that's out there that's just kicking ass. I mean, this dude is done more in a very brief time than most real estate agents are able to do after 10 years in this business, you guys. So this is a guy that's right out of the gate, new realtor, but doing some massive things. So stoked to have my good friend Josh Bryan on the show. What's up, homie?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked, dude. I've been excited about this and getting you on the show for a while, man. I know you're doing some big things. Before we get into what we're talking about today, though, dude, let's rewind the clocks. I'm always interested in our guest's journey that led them into entrepreneurship or in real estate in the first place. So, rewind the clocks, like college, whatever. Like, what led you to real estate?
All right, so college, I mainly majored in alcohol and partying. I went to Auburn, so it's all about football and having fun. I just didn't really do much. So after that, I just kind of got into sales. My buddy in college was working in the cell phone industry, making 50, 60 grand. Looked like nothing. Back in the time when I was 18, 19 years old, that seemed like a huge amount of money. So I was like, oh, dude, I could do this. Got into that, did pretty well. Made that 50, 60 grand. But 11 years later, I was still there. I did the whole management thing. It just wasn't for me. And then finally, I just said, dude, I got to do something different. So I was going back to school to actually finish my degree in accounting, and I was bored out of my mind. So I'm like, all right, in order to sit for my CPA exam, you have to have an extra 30 credit hours after your bachelor's. I was like, well, real estate's 6 hours. I want to do investing, so let me go ahead and do that. And then got into it, and I was like, dude, this is actually kind of fun. I think I can do this. So I just started planning, the last 2 years, my exit from the cell phone industry. So, just stockpiling cash so I could, not fail, really, because I know that's one of the number one reasons people fail in business is lack of funds. So I just want to make sure I had that set up and then just gradually worked my way into it. And that's where I'm at now. So
yeah, no, I love it, man. So let's talk about that, right? Because I know, you just talked about a lot fail in the beginning. We're in an industry, and it's not just real estate; it's all entrepreneurship, right? There's just a high failure rate, but you got 90% of realtors that drop out in the first 3 years. Of those that make it, they're selling a few homes a year. They're not doing a lot of business. You jump in here, dude, and you like just bam, hit it out of the gate. I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like 40 or 50 grand in your first few months, right? So walk us through that, man. So many people are struggling. Like, what did you do out of the gate that helps you create such massive momentum?
So once I went full-time, because the first 2 years was just dabbling and I only did one deal. But, I was kind of lost. So, I found you, really, honestly. I got into a program that lays everything out for you and then just do the work. I mean, most people, they don't realize it, recognize it as a business or treat it as a business. They just think it's, oh, hey, I'm going to school. I got my license. Leads are going to come in. It's not that way, So with the mentorship from my broker, because she's been doing it for 20-something years, built a team, now run the brokerage. I was able to think of it as a business, and then just reached out and found a mentor with a proven game plan, and then just, immerse myself in that, learn it, try to master it as much as possible. I'm nowhere near mastering the whole program, but just implementing. You just got to do that every single day. You wake up every morning, do the same stuff every single day, and you'll be successful eventually.
Yeah, dude. Well, and you have, man. I mean, it's weird. It's like when I used to run the gyms. I'd have a member come in one day and then they'd cancel the membership saying, oh, this isn't working for me. I'm not getting the results. And then the next member would come in and be like, oh, thank you so much. You guys are changing my life and da-da-da-da. And it's because one's doing the work and one's not. And you're definitely a massive implementer. Well, let's talk about what you're implementing on, man. So you aligned yourself with the right people. You found the right mentor. Because, dude, you're like the one, I don't want to say the one dude, dude. I mean, there's other people that kill on social media, but you really killed on social media. Like, you know, a lot of people are out there in the beginning hustling open houses, and not saying that you haven't, but dude, like, you are just slaying it on Facebook.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of people are reaching out to me because they see the success I'm having, and you know, I help around here as much as I can, but other agents across the country. The first thing I say, you got to remember, I'm in the third largest market in the country, in Chicago. So that helps by itself, but then I'm consistent. Every single night, I'm posting, you know, in what I do every single night. So it's constant. Every single day, I'm generating new leads. I'm also branching out since Chicago's a huge market. I'm going into, you know, cities and counties that would take me an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to drive to, generating leads, converting those leads, you know, get them pre-approved, convert them to an appointment, and then I'm handing them off to another agent that's closer to them for a referral. So I'm kind of double dipping. Just took what you teach and put it on steroids.
Yep. Yeah, well, let's walk through it, man. Let's kind of, you know, and those of you that are watching and listening, I mean, Josh isn't just BSing here. I was hanging out with him recently. We had a week together in Illinois, dude, and it was like, oh, nope, got to go back to my hotel room, dude. Got to go, you know, these specific times. I got to post it, you know, do these certain things. So it's not BS, it's not fluff. But let's just kind of give a general outline of what that looks like. Like, what are you doing on those times? You know, and then of course, it's not about the lead gen. I mean, you got to have the leads, but it's also what are you doing with those leads? I mean, anybody can generate a lead. It's how are you following up?
Right. So basically, what I'm doing is a lot of free generation in Facebook groups. I have recently implemented paid as well. But basically, all I'm doing is, you know, I'm going after buyers, and I'm giving them what they want. Buyers want homes. You know, sellers want home valuations. But the whole seller thing has kind of been, you know, overplayed, or you know, it's gone, dude. That was 2 years ago. So I'm going after buyers, just generating leads, posting, you know, photos of cool homes that would sell around here, and just generating the leads that way. And then as soon as they come in, you know, I have my CRM set up to email me as soon as I get a lead. So as soon as they come in, I call them, you know, and I just basically say, hey, you know, this is you know, Josh, owner operator of the home search website, You Just Restaurant. I just want to check and see. It's a courtesy call. I just want to check and see how the site's working out for you. You know, see if I can answer any questions. I don't do any kind of hard sell, you know, because no one wants that anymore. So I just lead from contribution, try to help out any way I can, and then I, you know, have a whole system set up that, you know, I reach out to them within 6 times within 14 days between video, text, or phone calls, and then I have a drip system set up for about 3 years out. So I'm always staying in contact with them, and then I have other, like, I send out Monday motivation emails. Each month I shoot a market update, put it on YouTube, email that out to everybody. So I'm always in their face, you know, but I'm not aggressive with anyone. I'm just aggressive in my follow-up.
Yeah, I think that's important for people to understand, man, is nobody likes to be high pressured, you know, but there is a difference. There's a difference between being aggressive with your frequency and being aggressive or pushy with people, so I love that. So, you know, knowing you, dude, because I want to kind of hit on some points here, because I know a lot of people struggle with this. So, you just started recently doing the calls, right? So, but I also want people to know the power of automated systems. I mean, you know, you were still closing a ton of deals before you started doing the calls. Now you're just closing more. I mean, I was with you for that week period, dude, and you're just, I mean, I can't remember how many total appointments that you set just from the system, texting, emailing, and doing those things. Yeah, so the automation is huge, right? I think so many people grasp it. They don't take the serious of a CRM and with that. So just before I get in the next topic, though, what platform are you using? I know you were using Perfect Storm to lead gen, but are you now using the CRM too?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been doing that when it launched.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, love it, dude. So so recently we were just hanging out here in Phoenix, right? And you know, you admitted to our mastermind group that you were suffering with call reluctance, dude. And it's something that's so real and so true. And I mean, I used to have it, dude. I would spend more time looking at the damn phone than I would actually dial in because I was so freaked out, right? So walk us through that because that's something that exists. It's real. The fear is real. And you recently were able to overcome that, and now you're just taking it to the next level.
Yeah, so, obviously I can do this all day long, video text all day long, get in front of people and speak all day long. For whatever reason, picking up this thing, I couldn't hit send. For whatever reason, I just had to, what the heck? And, when I was up in Phoenix and talking in front of, 120, 125 agents, and just hearing all their feedback, it made it, just put in perspective how stupid it was, and how dumb I was being, and just to do it. And then someone recommended the book Go for No. I listened to that in my truck. It's quick listen, an hour and a half. Just listened to that a couple of times. I was like, dude, it's easy. I don't know why I don't do it. So now I just came back, and that Monday morning I was like, dude, let's just start calling. So picked up the phone, call. And I did the same thing, just, hey, this is, just checking in. I want to see if I can help you with anything, see if you have any questions. Are there any homes you go check out? Anything like that, stuff like that, and not high pressure. And you get people that say, not interested, hang up on you. Cool, man. Let's move on to the next one. But I haven't had anyone yell at me or get mad at me. And if they do, they're not mad at me. They're just probably pissed off in their own life, and, they just took it out on me. So I say, all right, cool, man, have a great day. Move on to the next one. It's actually simple once you start doing it. You just got to pick up the phone and make that first call.
Yeah, it's funny that we get these internal stories in our head of how these things are going to play out, and they never really play out that way.
Yeah.
It's like we have all these false stories, man. So what have you felt the difference now that you've been doing the calls? I mean, for your overall conversion ratios, like what do you really feel the difference has been with that?
So I've been calling now consistently, probably, I guess it's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I haven't converted any, as far as a closed sale yet. It's obviously too early, but I actually have a whole list sitting right here on my little pad. I've sent about 20 to my lender for pre-approval. So, half of them have been pre-approved. Some of them are still working on credit issues, stuff like that. But, dude, those are, 10 to 20 that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't made the phone call. I might have gotten them eventually, but I got them now in with my lender, and, I can start showing homes tomorrow. So, the thing with this industry and these people, yeah, they're on a certain time frame, but if you show them the right house, they might buy now instead of the spring. But if they don't, I've already set my spring up to be massive.
Yep.
So
to give everybody an idea, I mean, what was it like your first 4 months that you decided to leave your other career, go full time in here, and not just kind of dabbles of a here and there realtor, but you left your other career, went full time. What was, I mean, it was something pretty crazy. It was like 40 grand in 4 months or something, and I can't remember how many closings. It was like a dozen almost, right?
Yeah, it was 11/12. The 12th one's actually closing on Tuesday. And that one we had a lot of issues with. So, but that was from the previous 4 months. So, yeah, dude, I just got into the Facebook lead gen and just started doing that, and then made sure I did it consistently. And then, obviously at that point, I was just relying on the automation from it, and then it just blew up. I don't know. It had to be the consistency of it, because there's other people that say they do it.
Yeah.
But they don't get anything out of it. They're like, well, how are you getting all this stuff, dude? We're in the same market. I'm doing it every single day. I might see you post in the same group once a week.
Yeah.
So it's, things like that. It's just being consistent.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more. The only magic pill that exists is consistency. Everybody's looking for this magic pill. It's like, no, you got to just be consistent, dude. So what I'm really curious about, though, is so you do, 12 deals, put 12 in escrow in your first 4 months. The 12th one's just closing now, but the others had already closed. But you're able to be consistent, especially like when we're new, dude, because we have the stress of writing contracts and attending inspections, and I mean, our capacity is pretty low when we're beginning. Most people like would be freaking out with that. They wouldn't have an extra hour in the day plus have the time to be consistent with the other stuff. And I remember, dude, like when I hung out with you a couple months ago, and this was kind of like when you were in the thick of it. You were like, dude, I'm like bored out of my mind. I got these like 10 dozen deals in escrow, got these leads coming in, but you're like, dude, I feel like I don't even really work that hard, right? And I know you've really kicked it up, but that's a tremendous amount of business, dude, to do that. So you obviously have to have some good internal programs, systems in place when you're working with people. Like, walk us through that, dude.
Yeah, so just like you said, I mean, I have systems in place. At that point, the CRM was the biggest thing, and everything being automated. So as soon as I had the lead come in, I had an auto respond text to them. I had an auto respond email to them, so I hit them instantly, and then depending on the time of day, I would shoot the video text and send it out to them. Usually, it was more likely the next morning because I would lead generate. I would start at about 7 o'clock, and then, leads would come in all night, and I would wake up in the morning. I always get up early, not as early as you. I get up at 5. But between 5 and I feed my dogs at 6 because one of them's on medication, so at certain times. But between 5 and 6, back then, I would just hop in and start, going through my leads, setting them up on home searches in my MLS, and then seeing who what they were, and then creating the video text. So basically all I did was I just shot the video text on a green screen and then put in my company logo and all that stuff, and I have it saved to my computer. So I just right click, copy paste, done. I'm not sitting here with my phone having to do it every single time. Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much all it was doing that, and then just doing it consistently where it didn't take up a lot of time. I mean, I got up and did it early when other people were still asleep, and I was done by 6:30. And now I've changed a little bit. I go to the gym first, and then I do come home and do all that stuff. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm done. If my day goes to shit, so what? I've already done most of my lead generation. Now I'm doing the phone call, so I wait till 8 o'clock to start phone calls. But yeah, dude, it's just doing that every single day consistently.
Yeah. So okay. So you got let's just say 2 hours a day or so that you're banging that stuff out. But then, dude,
Yep.
You got all these deals in escrow that you're having to work. You got the paperwork. You got inspections. You got all these clients that you're out there showing properties to. Like how are you managing that? Because again, like I get if you were a seasoned agent doing this for 10 years, and you're writing contracts in your sleep, that okay, you're doing all this and then closing 4 deals a month and okay, but as a new agent, man, I mean, again, it's a lot of this stuff is so new to us. So how do you balance that out? Because a lot of people now that are listening to this are like, dude, they can't fathom getting 12 deals in their first 4 months plus all these leads coming in and what what that looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm pretty efficient overall, but I'm with a company that's 100% paperless. So I use DocuSign heavily. I just email out the docs. We have templates already. I just go in and fill out basically the address, asking price, date, stuff like that. Shoot it out. So literally, it takes me 10 minutes to write a contract. And then since everything's paperless, I have a whole checklist of things that my TC needs. When I say my TC, it's my entire brokerage's TC. So I don't pay for an individual TC myself. And it's a checklist, and I just go through, hey, this is what I need. I need to upload this disclosure, that. And I already have them all in a folder, so I'm organized. And I just, bam, here it is. So I can go through the first, I think we have from contract to closing, I think we have like 13 steps. I knock out the first 9 in 10 minutes. The other 4, we're an attorney state, so the other 4 rely on attorneys and stuff like that, and then I upload all those when we're closing, so I don't even have to worry about that. And then I recommend as we're going through the process, I'm like, hey, do you have an attorney? If not, this is who I recommend. And I just shoot an email over with the contract, the executed contract, to the attorney, CC them. Hey, these are when the inspection is going to be. I still call and set up the inspection. I want to start doing what you do and just say, hey, dude, I'm feeding you all this business. Here's the number. Here's the times I have. You figure out the inspection and let me know where I need to be there. So that'll free up my time even more. But it's just being organized and efficient with your time. I mean, it's not hard, but I understand some people run around with their chicken, with their head cut off and stuff like that. But I don't know, dude. It's just being organized and doing it. It's
well. Were you always organized? From your previous positions, or okay? So that's just kind of something that.
Yeah, it's natural to me. It drives me nuts when people are slow, and they're all over the place. So that's just a personality of mine. So you can learn it, but you got to put in time to do that.
Yeah, love it, dude. So one thing through observation that I've learned about you is you are really focused on mastering your craft, right? Like you're not one of these dudes that just talks about self-development and like, dude, like, when we were hanging out and you picked me up from the airport and we went to Perfect Storm together. Inside your truck, dude, I mean, you got a setup there with an iPad where, like, you were literally in between appointments or whatever, watching listing presentation videos, buyer presentation. Like, you don't, like, waste any time, and you're pretty hardcore with that. I would say that you probably have your listing presentation dialed in than most agents that have been doing this 20 years in a short span because you're so intentional with that. Was mastery, again, something that you've always been focused on in the past, or was that kind of new to you? And then walk us through what that looks like. Like, how intentional are you right now about mastering your self-development?
Okay. I'll say yes and no. In my previous businesses, yes. I always took it upon myself to learn everything new because in the obviously cell phone industry, things are changing daily, So I didn't rely on my company to give me information. I was always out there reading, immersing myself in the info, so I was more educated, when I was selling to people. In the real estate space, since I started off just as a game, I guess, not really taking it serious. No, but then when I went full time, I had to. So that's where I reached out. I'm like, hey man, I need a program or a system that I can just plug and play and rock and roll. And luckily, I found what you and what you teach, and it was simple, made sense. We kind of meshed, So it's like, dude, this is my style. I can do this. So I just put it in play and work on it. And then, like you said, in my truck, I don't listen to the radio anymore. It's when I'm driving, it's an iPad either playing a podcast or in the mastermind group, you upload your team meetings. So I took that one that you actually did video of your listing presentation, downloaded it, put it in Dropbox on offline mode, and I just play that while I'm driving, because I learn very well by listening. When I did listen to the radio, I knew every freaking song on the radio because I just listened to it. But if I read a book, I can't retain it. That's why I listen to audiobooks. But yeah, I just would listen to your, listing presentation or different podcasts out there or audiobooks and just do that every single time I was in the car.
Yep. Love it, man. Yeah, it's insane how many people don't focus on mastery. I heard a stat the other day that only 5% of entrepreneurs and really just human beings will ever invest into any type of coaching or courses, right? So you're already ahead of 95% of the people out there. And then, you look at your average college graduate, they read, one book from when they're done with college to the rest of their life. It just baffles me, dude. But like you're experiencing, dude, it's like fishing with dynamite, baby, once you take it to that level. So so one thing I also really admire about you, dude, is you don't allow yourself. I mean, of course, you get busy and you're immersing yourself in self-development and you're leveling up and you're expanding and looking to double your business next year, which is crazy. But you also, make sure that you're enjoying life, right? So I know that, recently, you really started leveling up your health, taking care of your health, losing, some LBs. But you're also out there taking time to go camping, hiking, and traveling and not neglecting those other things. So talk to us about that, man, because a lot lot of people, and I'm guiltier than anybody of operating the extremes where like I'll just immerse myself in 100 hours of work a week and I'll forget that there's this other life out there.
Yeah. So I don't have like a set schedule. So like you, I will go from 5 a.m. until 10 or 11 o'clock at night if I have to. I don't really prefer to do that. But being in this, the world we're in now, I can do everything from my phone. So as long as I have a cell phone connection, I'm good there. If I'm out, like, you're not familiar with the UP, but you're from Michigan, so I'll get you up there soon.
I'll be back there in June, man. We're house shopping right now.
I know you're on a camping dude, but we'll get up there. But if I'm out in an area like that where I don't have cell phone service, I will reach out to another agent here and have like a partnership. If and I'm gonna let my know. I'll put a voicemail saying, hey, I'm out of cell phone area for the next 3 days. If you need someone, call this. So that way, if it's just a blind lead, they'll call in and talk to the other agent. But I just have someone that helps me out, and so I'm not losing business or I'm not having to start my business all over. But doing that, not saying that I'm getting burnt out by any means, but doing that helps me enjoy life. I don't want to work just to work. I want to work to be able to do things in life and to be able to enjoy life and to be able to, provide for my family and have these experiences, So, yeah, I try to get out if I can. I really want to do a trip like once a month, but that's kind of pushing it, So we go out at least every 2 or 3 months. I go somewhere, even if it's just a weekend trip, just to get away, just to have fun.
Yeah, and I think it's important too. It's like I have to force myself to take time off because I freaking hate it. But every time that I do, I come up with so many just great ideas. I think it's just good to get the hell out of that same environment. Yep. Like, dude, I come up with better ideas when I'm hiking than I ever do in the office.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the good thing about being in places that you have no cell phone reception is you can't get distracted.
Yeah.
So you're just out there either with your buddies and you're just talking life and picking up things from other people's lives, or you have time, to actually reflect and create goals that you may not have time to do when you're in the grind every single day.
Yep.
So then you come back and implement on those, so it just continue to level up every day.
Yeah, love it, dude. So recently started leveling up in your health, man. I mean, since what were you down, dude? I mean, you're from the time that you and I were in Illinois together. I mean, you're down a good 25 pounds?
Yeah, I was at 225, and now I weighed this morning. I'm at 194.
Yeah, it's so awesome, bro.
So you probably saw the other day. I posted a photo of the scale on Facebook, and I get people asking me, "Man, how'd you do it?" Dude, it's simple, but it's not easy. This is the plan and you actually gave me the plan, the diet, the workout plan. I'm like, hey man, do this and you'll see results, but you got to do it. You just can't say, oh, I'm going to do it. And, you might do it halfway or something like that. And you'll see something because you're changing a little bit, but dude, you just got to immerse yourself and keep the end goal in mind. Those times it's hard. Like I'm sure you saw pictures, and I complained about my better half when we were out eating, and she has this awesome food on the table, and I'm a food guy, man, So I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I really want that, but I got this nice grilled chicken salad in my face. So, but hey, it's stuff like that where you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you see the results. So.
Yeah, especially in Chicago, man. It's the greatest food on the planet, dude. But dude, I don't think there's any greater characteristic or habit or discipline, whatever you want to call it, than learning to be disciplined for success in life. And it's so funny how, not funny, but it all makes sense how all these are the same. Like you've talked about with your success, your real estate business, you're like, dude, I'm just consistent. I just do it. You probably don't want to sit there every single night and go post when your buddies are going out or you want to watch the game or whatever, but you got to do it. Then same thing with the gym and staying consistent with it, man. So I love it, dude. What do you, because now that you're expanding and growing so fast, I mean, like, where do you see your career going? Because, I mean, you're getting to that point right now where you're popping, 5-6+ deals every single month. I mean, do you see yourself going into a team of some sort where you're starting your own team? I mean, where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I don't want to get to the point where I'm losing business because I can't handle it all on my own. So my goal, down the road, and I don't have a time frame on this, and I know I need to put a time frame on it, but yeah, it's to build a team. I don't know if it's going to be to the level you're at, but I want to build a team. And I grew up before I went to school. I worked for my dad in his own business, and I saw how building a business and having other people work for you or work with you, where you could take a vacation and not worry about anything. So that's what I want. I really enjoy that. I don't want to have to be dependent on myself. And then if I, down the road, and this is way down the road because I'm still young, but I want to be able to step out and still get paid.
Yeah.
Still be able to, part of the business and keep an eye on it. But like once an hour or two a week or a month, something like that. And I can't do that if I stay a solo agent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. When a solo agent, it's you just always have a job, and I mean, I loved being a solo agent, dude. I love the rush and the of every single deal and structuring everything and being in the thick of it. I mean, I get so addicted to the hustle and grind, but like you said, you take 1 week off, and you're like, oh shit, man, I just reset myself 90 days. It gets to a point where you almost have to do it because otherwise you just get burnt out with that grind. So, dude, I just on a personal, well, I guess it relates to business too. But you're, dude, like I've seen you level up a lot. I mean, I don't know, we've known each other for probably close to a year now, right? Or maybe 6-7 months or whatever.
April, yeah. I think April when I started your boot camp.
Okay, yep. So, and you've grown a lot, but you were also doing well for yourself, or had things in motion. I don't want anybody that's watch or listen to this think that your success is because of me, because it's not. It's because you freaking work your ass off and you hustle your ass off. But while you're going through this leveling up process, man, because it is so difficult, right? And in ways that a lot of people don't understand, right? Because now you're, the things that used to be fun to you aren't always fun to you. And then people in your life, like as you're leveling up, you go through this transition where it's kind of a lonely place, right? Can you walk us through like what your process has been leveling up? Because you were, whatever, how many years, a decade at, you're 50 grand a year, kind of in that same position. I don't want to say mediocrity, but, it was just kind of the standard corporate gig to now just boom, leveling up in less than 12 months, skyrocketing. So your life is definitely changing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, it was mediocrity. I mean, same place 11 years later.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But, yeah, dude, it's tough because, I can't, not to put any of my friends under the bus, because I love them all, but there's only a handful that I can talk to that are actual my friends before I started doing this that would even understand, So I, obviously I reached up to you for that, and I recommend doing that. Other people do that. Find a mentor, find people that relate to your goals that either already done it or they're 1 or 2 levels above you, so you can learn from them instead of having to, reinvent the wheel. One thing about the Master Year alumni group is, there's people in there that are doing it every day, and I'm able to build relationships with these people. Like when I was out in Arizona, dude, you mentioned John Wilcher's, his video. Actually, I don't think he did it before we were recording, but anyway, when I saw that, I was like, dude, I'm going to be there in a year in that seat on this podcast. And I reached out to him, it's just like, dude, he's the one to help me. Mickey, mutual friend, a couple other people, I don't want to leave anyone out, but I just can't keep going on the list because there's a ton of them. But they're all willing to help. So you just find someone that's either local. If you can't find that, then, we're living in an internet age. Find someone, YouTube, for example. They don't even have to know you exist.
Yeah.
But find someone that is where you want to be or has been there, and just immerse yourself in it and follow them. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. Yeah, what have you found to be the most difficult part or the most challenging part on a personal level with leveling up?
Uh, Locally, finding someone to actually do it with, like for the gym, for example. I go by myself, because the people that have asked me to go with them, they want to go at night, and that just doesn't fit my schedule.
Yeah.
So I leave here at 6 after I feed my dog, and then I go to the gym. I just do it, so that's probably the hardest thing. Is like yesterday was leg day, and I didn't want to go, and it was the election the night before, so like a dumbass, I stayed up and till midnight, which is late for me. I just didn't feel like it, dude. So I didn't go. I didn't have anyone to hold me accountable. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is having someone here that can hold me accountable. Because people like you, or other people that I mentioned that I talk to online on a daily basis, they're not here to hold me accountable to see if I'm actually doing the work. I can say that all day long, I'm doing it, but there's no one actually here to see me and hold me accountable. So I would, if you can find someone, partner up. I'm in the process of starting that. There's a dude that's actually in your current boot camp that's in Chicago, so we're not exactly the same exact market, but he called me the other day. He's like, "Hey man, call me at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I need to get up at 5 a.m. and I won't do it if you don't call me." I'm like, "All right, cool." So it's stuff like that, and as far as business, we're helping each other, we're motivating each other. So it's all about finding someone that can hold you accountable.
Yep, I love it, man. I couldn't agree more, dude. So, let's talk about the space of abundance that you roll from, right? Because we're in an industry, it's transformed a lot. I'm going on my 12th year. I'm starting to kind of, I guess, date myself here, but going on my 12th year in the business, dude. When I first started in 2005, it was literally like, oh, dude, Josh, for me to succeed, that means you need to fail. So I can't give you any of my secrets, right? And we've seen it make a shift, but a lot of people, they kind of say that they're willing to share, but they're I'm partly full of shit. But you're a dude, and we've got several, of alumni members and boot camp members and Perfect Storm members, and but you go way beyond that, because it's not like you're just masterminding with them that are in your area. I know you're teaching, you're teaching classes for your brokerage, and you truly operate from this place of abundance where you're not afraid to share anything that or that you've learned. What's your personal philosophy on the abundance, and do you feel it's helped you or hurt you being sharing that openly?
Yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of business for everyone to go around. I, like you said, with my brokerage, and actually we're having a 2017 business planning thing first the next month, and I was asked to get up and speak 5 to 10 minutes on your program, and what I'm doing to be successful. And I'm like, sure, dude, no problem. I have no problem sharing. It actually, as far as benefiting me, I haven't seen anything, monetary wise from it yet, but it's nice to be able to help out and give back to people that's either helped me and they're just struggling. Like the one dude I was telling you about in your current boot camp. When I first started my brokerage 2 years ago, he was the top guy. And I was like, man, I'm going to be that guy. So now when he's coming back to me asking me things, it's like, really? Is this real? Yeah. I've gone from not being known to being known as an expert in a short amount of time. So that alone, and yeah, it's an ego thing, but it's pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, I love it, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, if you do 48 deals a year, you're in the top 5% in the world in real estate, and you're on the path where who knows what 2017 holds, but there's a good chance you'll bang out 100 deals by yourself, right? So then that puts you in the top 1%. So it's cool, man, how that all that shifts, and yeah, I've always found that being in that place of abundance, man, just it ends up. Giving back in so many ways, dude. It's just insane. So what market have you guys, like, what's been happening in your market, dude? Has it been a pretty extreme seller's market this last 6 months that you've been full time?
Yes and no. Our market's kind of weird. The last couple of months when I've actually been tracking it and doing my updates every month, I've noticed the prices have come down a little bit each month. They're still up year over year, but each month they're pulling down a little bit. And inventory, it's not like your market. We're still 4 months worth, so it's technically a seller's market, but it's not like crazy. But saying that, if the house is priced right and it's not a complete shithole, it goes fast. So it doesn't meet all the standard numbers of, hey, 2 or 3 months, inventory, we're a hardcore seller's market, and the prices are going up at the same time. We were slow to come back from the crash.
Yep.
So, some people, a lot of people now have equity, equity, but there's still some people that are seeing those short sell, situations. So those aren't moving as quickly, obviously, because the whole process takes longer. But yeah, it's starting to slow down. Unfortunately, we have a winter here, so there are less overall transactions. And I know everyone complains and like, oh, it's so slow. Let me just take off time. But my broker, you as well, told me that December was one of your best months ever. It's one of her best months ever. So I'm not being discouraged by that. I'm still out there grinding every day. I might, if people are telling me, hey, we're gonna wait till spring, cool. I'm already getting them. I'm getting in front of them now.
Yeah.
So when they're ready to go, I'm going to be the person that they're going to reach out to, because I'm reaching out to them, hell, between now and April, probably 50, 60 times.
Yeah.
So I just keep grinding, and whether it's, I do good in December, January, February, or I do massive in March and April. It's going to be there, and it's not like I'm in my old business where I had a quota each month. If it closes, that's all that matters. Whether it closes this month or it closes in April, the money's still going to be there, And I set myself up where I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I have a bad month.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that. If people aren't in that situation, then, each paycheck you get, each commission check, set some of that aside for those rainy days. And then eventually you're going to, build it up to where if you do have a slow month because of a winter, you're not affected. You'll still be in the business. You can ride out the storm.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree more, dude. People are always like, oh man, well, I was, slow this winter because everybody took, time, our clients weren't buying. I'm like, wait, you mean your business was slow because you chose to take the time off? Yeah, of course, there's less transactions. Right. But there's less competition. There's no reason that your business needs to downturn, dude, as long as you're grinding. So love it, man. So let's talk about self-development, man. I know that you talked about jumping into my programs and different things as well. But I also know that you're an avid reader. What does self-development look like on a daily basis for you when it comes to reading and how do you know what books to read, and do you have some recommendations from some top reads that maybe have helped you? I know you talked about Go for No, but do you have any others that have maybe really helped you that you'd recommend to our audience?
Grant Cardone's 10X rule, or I think that's what it is. I listened to that 4 or 5 times in my truck. How to Win Influence, or How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's huge. It's boring to listen to, but you just do it a couple times. And then as far as online stuff, I'm always in masterminding groups on Facebook. Your group, a couple other real estate related groups that I'm out that are out there. So I'm always reading, learning from other people. Yeah, and then as far as books go, you can just kind of give out, tips. Here's a certain book to read if you're struggling with this or something like that. So, I can tell someone a book, but if they don't need that in their life, it's not going to do them any good. So, my recommendation for that is figure out what you're struggling with, and then find the best person in that space and just listen to all their content, not just one book. I've learned that if someone writes one book, then the next book out is just as good, if not better. Because they still have all those thoughts churning out. So yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head. And I'm like, wow, you got to read it. But it just depends on the situation. Like that go for no. That's what I needed at that moment. And it helped, So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Just figure out what you're needing, and then with YouTube, type that in, and find someone that's awesome,
Yeah.
and just immerse yourself.
Yeah, that book Go for No, man. I think we had about 100 people in the last mastermind that were all like that were just ranting and raving about it. So it must be an epic book. I've yet to read it myself, but I'm sure it's pretty friggin' badass. So yeah, dude. So if you could go, I know you haven't had a really long career yet in real
Yeah.
estate, but again, you've done the amount of bit you're doing in a month right now what your average agent does in a year. A seasoned agent. So you've had a very successful out of the gate real estate career. So just speaking production wise, right from a standpoint, if you could go back now that you've done the deals that you've done. And know what you know. If you could go back to yourself, like the day that you started in this business, and give yourself a couple pieces of advice, knowing what you know now, what would you go back and tell yourself?
Find a proven program that fits your lifestyle, that you're comfortable with. There's plenty of good ones out there, but they might not be good for you. So that's number one. Find a mentor. They kind of go hand in hand, but find a mentor or a coach. And if you can't afford one out the gate, find ways to give back.
Yeah.
Like for example, with you didn't. I mean, you kind of knew who I was, but all I did was say, "Hey, dude, I know you're coming into town. Can I pick you up and drive you to 2.5 hours?" Versus you renting a car or doing whatever. And that was the only thing I could offer you at the time. Luckily you took it, but just find ways to add value to people if you can't afford to pay them for the information. There's not a lack of information out there. You just got to find what works for you and actually implement it. And if you're getting into this business, I would start that when you're in real estate school. I wouldn't wait until you get licensed. If I didn't know that, I was reading entrepreneur books. Yeah, it's great. I know business. I know how to sell. I didn't know shit about real estate. So, I would have found a program that's all about real estate that's proven, and just dive in and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it, man. I love that you bring that up about the mentor, because it's and what's cool about it is, and this has happened for me time and time and time again for people that I've reached up to for mentorships too. When you reach out in that fashion, dude, and you usually get more than you were like, hey, dude, can I just drive you to Champaign from Chicago, a couple hour drive, and save you the Uber ride, and then I'll come pick you up. And I'm like, sure, why don't you just hang out the whole week with us, dude?
Yeah.
Right? So we end up working out every day together, which I don't want to say that's what I know that you were already working on that path, to rock and roll there, but we were able to spend a lot of time together, and there's always ways that you can offer value to somebody. So I love that you brought that up, dude, because everybody's just, hey, can I pick your brain?
Right.
Well, dude, if you break down what your cost per hour is right now for yourself personally, you're probably making, $150 an hour. Well, picking my brain, that's an expensive hour, dude.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting that now. Someone asked me, can you meet with me and show me how you're doing your calls? And what? Yeah, this is what I'm doing, but I'm not going to sit. You can come to me maybe and just sit and be a fly on the wall, but I got to do the work now. I don't have time to go play and help you out just to help you out. I want to be nice when I can, but at the same time, I got to protect my time.
Yeah. Well, and the reality is, dude, I've met so many people for coffee and lunches, and over the years as I was expanding, and I realized, dude, I don't think anybody ever does shit with what you tell them and give them anyway,
Right.
Unless they have a vested interest into it. So it's like, dude, when people ask me now, hey, man, can I take you out to lunch and pay for your lunch? I'm like, okay, my time's worth $2,500 an hour. Pay $2,500 plus my lunch, and I'll go out to eat with you. Right? Or a trade for your time. Give me 10 hours of your time to do shit around my office or whatever, and I'll give you an hour of mine. And and then those people are obviously the ones that will implement it. So be careful, dude, because you're gonna get a ton of that. Everybody is you're gonna be the God-a-minute guy, and then it hinders your growth in your business. And so you gotta definitely dial that in, dude. So love it, man. So Yeah, shit, lots of great info, dude. Do you have any other systems that you use? I know we talked about, your Perfect Storm front end lead generation site and the CRM that you're using. Are you using anything else? We see dialers out there. We see, using any other systems or things that are really helping you be organized and stay organized that you like that you recommend?
Organization, basically Google Drive. It's
Yeah.
free. I can access it from all of my devices. So I just have different spreadsheets for things like tracking my Facebook groups. The whole transaction part that's in our paperless pipeline, so that's easy there. Um, I use Espresso Agent for expires and FSBOs. I don't have a dialer yet. I'm looking into Mojo, um, seeing if I can, work deals with my vendors to have them pay for the dialer
Yeah.
if that's legal. Uh, so I don't have to pay for that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I use Perfect Storm for my front end, Perfect Storm for my back end, Espresso Agent for the info for expires and FSBOs,
Yep.
and track everything in a doc or a sheet on Google Drive.
Yep. Love it, man. That's about my system as well, dude. People think they have to spend all this damn
Eh,
money, and that's it.
Yeah, like I said, dude, why would I reinvent the wheel? I'll take what you do and I'll implement it. If
Yep.
I can tweak it to make it better for myself, then I'm going to. But why start from square one?
Yeah, love it, man. So, dude, I started this podcast, probably about 18 months ago or so, and it was just, I just got sick and tired of all the smoke and mirrors that exist out there. Instead of whining about it, I figured I'd do something about it and go interview the doers like yourself. People that are in the space, that are badasses, that are actually out in the trenches, that are actually doing it in today's world, right? So to share that knowledge with our listeners, and I do it on a selfish standpoint too, because I get to pick brilliant minds all day long. But with that being said, man, those that are watching and listening right now, just like when you're watching podcasts, you're out there getting that information because you want to go out there and level up in life and create the life you want and deserve. So that being said, man, you got any last words of advice or inspiration you like to leave our guests with so they can get on track to get out there and start kicking ass?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it multiple times. Just find something that fits with you, that's been proven, do it, and do it consistently. That's the biggest thing. Is just be consistent with it. Be organized so you can work if you wanted to 2 hours a day and feel like you're not doing anything. Obviously now I'm implementing a lot more, but yeah, dude, just find something that works for you. Find a mentor and implement like crazy.
Yeah, love it, man. Badass, brother. So, those of you watching and listening, I know I end every podcast with this, you guys, but information without implementation is just truly the start of delusion. It's taking that information, taking action on it that creates power in your world, and Josh is living proof of that, right? So he's a cat, been in the business about 6 months and out there just slaying it because he's got this information that he's gathering, but he's taking massive action on it. So take something that Josh shared with you today. Obviously, it's working. It's doing big things for him. Take something, go out there and implement it so you can create that life you want and deserve. And Josh, man, it's been a lot of fun, dude. I always love rapping and rolling with you, and it's going to be just amazing to see you just blow this industry up, man. So love it. Really appreciate you being here, bro.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right, you guys, thank you again, and we will see you next time.